I won't use a number, and Batman Arkham City is the sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum. While you don't have to play Asylum to enjoy City, it's an excellent game in its own right, so if you haven't played it, you can check out my video on it. That being said,
Do you need your mom? Hey, what's he doing? He's got some kind of computer thing. How'd he do that? You're gonna die tonight!
Arkham City does what sequels should. It takes the concepts and gameplay found in the first game and expands on them in fun and interesting ways. On the story side of things, Hugo Strange has convinced those in charge of Gotham City to section off a part of the city to house all the criminals from Blackgate and Arkham Asylum, dubbing it Arkham City. It probably seems like a bit of a stretch, unless you know how Hugo Strange does things. Bruce Wayne comes out to campaign against the idea of Arkham City and is quickly arrested and put into the crazy prison town.
I feel I should thank you. Capturing Bruce Wayne is so much easier than Batman. And now that we have you, Protocol 10 is ready to begin. It will be my legacy, a monument to your failure. And if you try to stop me, I guarantee everyone will know your secret.
The plot starts out relatively simple, but quickly evolves into something much more engrossing and unpredictable than Asylum's serviceable plotline. At one point I stayed up until 9 in the morning playing just so I could finish the story missions. And I sort of failed to point this out in the last video. As new characters are introduced, files are provided for them that you can read if you're interested in learning more about Batman lore, or ignore if you don't give a shit. It strikes a very nice balance between satisfying fans without leaving non-fans completely behind. The gameplay is probably what you would expect if you played Arkham Asylum. The free-flow combat system is improved, now feeling faster and more responsive. I found myself using the gadgets much more frequently in combat, as Batman's arsenal this time around provides way more combat options. And there's a handful of new enemy types to help keep combat fresh. The stealth sections are more or less the same. Some new concepts are thrown at you, but if you could get through all the stealth bits in Asylum, you shouldn't have any problem with the ones in City. The biggest changes stem from the fact that this game is open world. It's probably my favorite open world in a game, actually. See, it's a pretty small area, which means you can navigate it quickly by gliding across the city. It doesn't have that problem that most open world games have of having to drive a car or sprint for 20 minutes to get to the next mission objective, and it's densely packed with things to do. The Riddler challenges return, more trophies to collect and riddles to solve, along with a few other destructible things in the environment, and physical challenges to complete. But this time the Riddler takes a more active part in challenging you. He kidnaps a number of people, and as you complete his challenges, poses riddles to you that lead to their locations, which are elaborate death trap rooms that you must navigate to save each hostage. It provides more of an incentive to go after the Riddler stuff, which would be great if there just wasn't so damn much. There's 400 collectibles total, counting the physical challenges, and 40 more if you get the Catwoman DLC, but those aren't needed to challenge the Riddler, so whatever. If you go after all of the collectibles, it will get tedious. It's satisfying to ultimately finish, but there will be times that you'll feel bored and want to do something else. FYI, you have to finish the main story before you can collect everything. There's also other side missions in the city, most of which involve trying to track down and stop a Batman villain causing chaos around Arkham City, usually ending in a confrontation with that villain. All of these provide something unique, but some aren't marked on the map, so if you want to finish everything, you'll probably have to consult a guide at some point. Outside of the main game, there's again a challenge mode with stealth and combat-based maps. Not really my thing, but if you can get into it, I'm sure it can provide you with hours of entertainment on top of the story. Once you finish the game, a new Game Plus mode is unlocked that removes the hit warnings above enemies' heads, makes them hit harder, and provides new enemy configurations throughout the story missions. For DLC, we have the Catwoman Story Pack, which interweaves a series of Catwoman missions into the main story. I encourage all of you to get this before even starting the game, because the first Catwoman mission takes place almost immediately. There's Harley Quinn's Revenge, which takes place after the main story, so I didn't record it because I thought it would be filled with spoilers, but it actually wasn't that bad. Whatever. It gives you the opportunity to play as Robin. It's a bit of fun, but overall drags on a bit too long and feels underwhelming. Beyond that, there's downloadable challenge maps, costumes, and paying for the ability to play as Nightwing in the challenge mode. Catwoman, Robin, and Nightwing all feel different and have unique gadget sets. Here's hoping they're utilized a bit better in Arkham Knight's story. At this point, it's probably best to just pick up the Game of the Year edition, so you don't have to deal with picking and choosing which pieces of DLC to get. It'll probably only be a few bucks more than the normal version at this point. Batman Arkham City is available on Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Just so you know, I do plan to cover Arkham Knight relatively soon, but it might not be for a while. Don't worry, as always, other content is on the way. That said, if you have suggestions for any future videos, questions about this game, or want to share your thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you thought this video was useful in any way, or if you're going to keep on pretending that Arkham Origins never happened, you can hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're looking for me in other corners of the internet, I have a Tumblr and I'm a curator on Steam. This has been I Won't Use a Number, keep loving what you love, and as always, I'll see you next time with something else.